Hello and welcome to Norway. As you can see, I am in a different location today. I'm filming in my bedroom in Norway, very plain background behind me. I propped the camera up on the windowsill to try and make the most of the light. So I have done loads since I've been here. So today I'm going to share with you what I've been knitting since I've been here, what I knitted on my trip over, what I've bought since I've been here, the yarn shops I've been to, and some of the other stuff we've done. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website yarnaddict.co.uk. All the links can be found below. I normally live in Cornwall in the southwest of England, but I'm originally from Norway, and at the moment I'm back in Norway visiting my parents. My knitting this week is a little bit boring, but I really want to finish this one project while I'm here. So first, let's talk about what I knitted on the way over. So I left a week ago last Sunday. Can't remember what date that was. It's Tuesday when I'm filming this. I got here Monday last week, so that's the day before Sunday. Trains in the UK at the moment on a Sunday just seem to be an absolute nightmare. So originally I was supposed to go up to Wales to my daughter's on the Monday, and we were going to drive up to Stansted and fly out on the Tuesday. And then Ryanair cancelled our flight, so we had to move our flight to the Monday, which meant I had to go up to Wales on the Sunday. And apparently they are really short-staffed at the moment, and every Sunday they're putting out a warning saying there will be cancellations. There was also some maintenance work going on in the Bristol area, so that was adding to the problems. And a week before I was due to travel, I was told that my train from Cornwall to Cardiff was cancelled. I was on a direct train. It stopped at every station. So it took about 4 hours, but it was a direct train. And I was told about a week before that it was cancelled. So GWR, which is a local train company, Twitter account helped me find new trains, and I had to get a train from Cornwall to Taunton. That train went fine. Got to Taunton, no problem. Changed trains. That was fine. The next train was supposed to take me to Cardiff. Got to Bristol, and they announced that the train was terminating there, and we all had to get off and catch the next train to Newport, which is just across the border in Wales, before you get to Cardiff, and then change there. Those who were going on to Cardiff had to change there for a train to Cardiff. So I got off. I had to change platforms. So I went down the stairs, under the train tracks, back up another set of stairs, waited around, and I had one earbud in to listen to a podcast, but I could still hear the announcements. And suddenly I was aware that like everyone were moving on my platform, and I hadn't heard the announcement properly. But I was just like, well, everyone else is going, so I just followed them. And I looked at the screen, and we had to go back to the platform I'd originally come from. So back down, under, and up again. And so we got on the train and got to Newport. I was lucky I got a seat. The train just said what did they say? It was a cross-country train, and their trains are really old and manky and horrible. And it just said above every seat, may be reserved, which is really useful because then you haven't got a clue. So you sit down and then hope nobody comes and kicks you out. Good thing was that it was just one stop, so they didn't stop and take on more passengers. So got to Newport, got off the train there, got another train to Cardiff, and then when I got to Cardiff, I had to get another train to Bridgend to meet my daughter, which I was the original plan anyway. So it should have been 3 trains, ended up being 5 trains, and it took me an extra 2 hours, I think. So yeah, it was a bit of a mess up down on and off trains, and anyway, got there eventually. And then we drove up to Stansted, north of London, on very early hours on Monday morning. We left my daughter's at 3 o'clock in the morning. She had to do all the driving. I was awake the whole time. I didn't sleep in the car, and I did no knitting in the car. I should have done, because I could have knitted it in the dark, but we were just chatting the whole way, so I didn't do any knitting. Did do quite a bit of knitting at well, a bit of knitting at the airport and a bit on the plane. So I can't remember how much I knitted of this on the Sunday and how much I knitted on the Monday, but I haven't touched it since we got here. So before we left, I did the crown of this is the hat, by the way. So I did a crown and a couple of rounds past the crown, I think. So this is where the crown ends. I don't know if you can see that there. So I've done so I did all of this, well, most of that, did a couple of rounds maybe before I left on Sunday and Monday. So I think I'm probably about halfway. I can't try it on because I think the needles are too short. I don't know. No, I don't want to pull it and pull the stitches off. So I think I'm about halfway. I'm hoping I can finish this on the way home if I finish the other project I'm working. So the yarn I'm using is Manos Uruguay Alegria, which is Superwash Merino and Polyamide. It's one of the ones that I have in my online shop, and it's really lovely to knit with. It feels like it has silk in it. It feels so smooth and silky. This is going to be a hat for Simon for Christmas, so he chose the yarn. So I made him choose from a yarn that I sell in my online shop. I haven't written up the pattern for this yarn. I knitted it 3 times. Yeah, I've knitted it 3 times now. Once for Simon and twice for me. Simon is a size bigger than me. So I got all the numbers for 2 sizes, and I'm adding at least 1 more size, maybe a couple, and I'm going to write up the pattern. There is a very well-known designer who has a very similar pattern. I have not seen her pattern, so I'm not copying her, but if you know what you're doing, it's not that difficult to work out. But I appreciate that a lot of people don't want to have to do the maths and think about it and just want to follow a pattern. So I wasn't going to write up the pattern because I thought there is this famous designer who has a very well-known pattern, but then I thought maybe I should. So, because Simon wanted to wear his hat at YarnAddict and I wouldn't let him because I said I don't have the pattern for that, so you can't wear it. So that's why I want to knit him one in the yarn I stock, so that next time we do a show, if it's cold, the next show we're doing is actually inside, so it won't be cold. He can wear it and I can say, yeah, you can. That's the pattern and that's the yarn. So that's the plan for that. So I am hoping to finish that on the way home if I finish the other project I have with me. So I've closed the curtain partially. I can't close it completely because then I'll block the screen, but that's a bit better because I can see, but this light still looks quite good. In fact, that's probably better light. Good lighting is very important when you're filming. So we've done quite a lot since we've been here. Been to Oslo twice since we've been here. The first day we went to the Science Museum north of Oslo. Well, it's in Oslo, but it's on the northern outskirts of Oslo. And because of where it is, we decided to drive in because that's easier. Going to Oslo city centre from where I am is easier to get the train because parking is a nightmare in Oslo city centre. But where we're going to the museum, it's easier to go by car. And there was a yarn shop in Oslo that I really wanted to visit called Strikkefeber, which means knitting fever. I will link them below. They do have a website and they're also on Instagram. And the Strikkefeber, I'll put their name and website actually on the screen. And that wasn't too far away from the museum. And it's about a 10-minute drive maybe, so not far. And I thought parking there should be okay. So I thought instead of, my plan had been when we went into the city centre was to get the bus or tram out there. But I thought if we can drive there, that would be a lot easier. So after we've been to the museum, we popped around there. I said to him, you don't mind if we go to this yarn shop, do you? We stopped on the way and got lunch. So we went to Strikkefeber. The reason I wanted to go there was that, one, it looked like a nice yarn shop. But also, they sell these project bags that I really wanted to look at. This is a company called Oh Wow Amsterdam. So it's a Dutch company based in Amsterdam. There we go, that's better. Called Oh Wow Amsterdam. I think if you're in the UK, what's it called? In East London, Wild and Woolly. I think they stock it, but they do some that are like deliberately printed, and they also do some where from what I've read on their Instagram, is they put the canvas down. So when they're printing stuff, all like the splatters and stuff of dye, they sew those into project bags as well. And they look fabulous. And I think that's the ones they stock at Wild and Woolly in East London. But but I'd seen that Sticky Fabric in Oslo stocked these, so that was the specific reason I wanted to go there. When we got into the shop, they actually had these on the top shelf. So I looked around and I was like, they haven't got them, but they're on their website. So the lady in the shop was serving somebody when we got there. So when she was finished, I asked her and she said, yeah, they're up there, and they were on like the top shelf, but it's quite a tall ceiling, so you couldn't kind of reach them. She had to get like a little step ladder to get up and get one down for me, which meant that looking at the different sizes and styles was a bit difficult. They're also a bit pricey, they're not cheap, and I tend to use smaller project bags more than bigger ones, and I do have a couple of bigger ones for when I'm doing like bigger sweater projects and things. So this is the smallest size, I think, and this is enough for like a shawl, a cowl, parts of a sweater. I have half a sweater in here at the moment in lace video, and it's fine for that. So if you're knitting like a sweater in pieces, it would be fine for each piece. But if you're knitting a whole sweater in one piece, it might get a bit small once you get halfway. But it's quite a good size, really. I saw this one, it was on the corner. It was one I looked at the website and I really liked it. So instead of asking to see loads of them and make it difficult, I said, I'll just take that one. If they'd been cheaper, I might have bought a bigger one, but they are quite expensive. Unfortunately, the exchange rate is really good at the moment. It's about 14 kroner to the pound. It used to be about, I remember when I moved to England, I think it was about 11, and for a long time it was about 10. And early in the year when I was here, I think it was 13 something. So it's over 14 now. So things for us who have our money in a British bank account is cheaper at the moment. It's been for a long time. So I don't think it's any cheaper buying this in London. I didn't want to order it from either from Amsterdam or from Norway and have it shipped to me in the UK, because I'd have to pay customs fees. So I really like that. The thing I don't like about it is the fact that it's cream colour. So I'm worried about whether it's going to get dirty. I'm assuming I can wash it, but I don't know. But it's quite structured. It's quite a stiff canvas. I'm assuming it might soften up a bit with use. I like the drawstring. When I took it with me yesterday into the shopping centre, I just carried it like this, which is fine. So yeah, I do quite like this, and it's perfect for the project I'm knitting at the moment. At Sticky Fabric, all the yarn they had, so Sticky Fabric is not a very big yarn shop. All the yarn they had was their own brand, I think. They had several shelves, loads, like half a wall of hand-dyed mohair. I'm assuming it might be mohair and silk, but like fluffy yarn. So if you like fluff, and a lot of Scandinavians, especially younger knitters, really like adding fluff to everything, holding it double with something else or whatever. I'm not that keen on very fluffy yarns because they just tend to stick to me, and I find them a bit annoying. So even though the colours were beautiful and I was just like, I really want to buy all of this, I didn't, because I know I don't really like it. But I did want to buy some yarn. This was before I saw the project bag. So I decided to get some yarn as well, and I bought these two. That's better. This really is neon pink. It's a beautiful pink. It's the Sticky Fabric label. It's called Merino. It's got 50% recirculated fibre. Recirculated? Is it called recirculate in English? No, it's not. Recycled fibre. So in Norwegian, if you translate it directly from Norwegian, it's recirculated, but it's not recirculated, it's recycled. So 50% recycled fibre, but it doesn't say what that is. And 50% merino. And it is DK, it has 100 meters per 50 gram. It is a singles yarn. Don't know if you can see that, probably not. So it's not very good for like hard wearing things. If you knit this into a sweater, it would probably pill very, very quickly. But I'm thinking maybe a cowl. Thinking maybe a colwork cowl or brioche cowl. I deliberately chose this colour because I thought they went together nicely. So I might do a cowl, I might do, I don't know, but something like that. I don't want to do hand warmers or anything because I don't think it'll last very long, because singles yarn is not that hard wearing. But I'm thinking maybe a cowl, maybe a hat, probably a cowl. This is enough for a cowl in a colourwork or brioche pattern, or just like a alternating stripes lace pattern or something like that. I don't know, but it'll become something at some point. Then I also got these scissors. You want to guess why I got these scissors? That's better color wise, because they're pink. So yeah, I got the scissors because they're pink and they're beautiful. They just come in like a little plastic case like that. I'm keeping this plastic case just when I'm traveling home, but I will probably get rid of it when I get home. I like buying scissors and I haven't bought any scissors for a long time. So we went into Oslo for a second day, and with Emily, I thought Emily had been to Oslo a lot, but she was like, I haven't really done like Oslo city centre for a long time. She said, I haven't seen all like the main sites. And I was like, well, you've been to like the Opera House? And she said, yeah, when I was really little. So we decided to have a Oslo sightseeing day. We walked, I think I did like 16,000 steps. So we got the train into Oslo. We went to the Opera House, which is next to the central train station. If you're going to Oslo, I highly recommend going to Opera House. You can walk on the roof. If it's slippery, which it wasn't when we were there because there's no snow yet, but if there's snow and ice and it's slippery, then it is a little bit scary because it does get very slippery up there, and the slopes, and it does kind of at one point go straight into the Oslo fjord. So you feel like if you fall, you're going to just sail straight on the roof into the Oslo fjord. I'm sure you won't, but that's what it feels like. They also have different levels and steps on it, which I don't get because it feels like they kind of set you up to trip. Although I did actually trip on this occasion, but I managed not to fall. So I would say go and do it, but be careful, especially if you're here when there's snow and ice, because it does get very slippery. We went on a boat trip on the Oslo fjord. It's an hour-long boat trip. You can buy tickets for like a sightseeing tour, which is 2 hours. I don't know how much that costs, but there is the regular scheduled boat that takes you to several of the islands in the Oslo fjord, and that takes an hour, and we got on that one. You can get on and off, but so far I've been on it maybe 4 times and only stayed on it to go all the way around. And it's quite attractive. It was quite cold and a bit drizzly when we were there, so I went outside and took a little bit of video, but not very much. And then when we got back from there, we went and got lunch, and then we walked up to the Royal Palace, and we walked to the Parliament building, which are kind of opposite each other. It's probably about a 5-10 minute walk between them. You can see the Parliament from the Royal Palace. So you just walk down the hill and up again the other side. And if you keep walking down that main street, you come to the central train station. And then we went to the Glass Magazine department store. I was thinking about going to Fru Kvist yarn shop in Oslo, because that's near the Parliament building. But I thought if we went to the Glass Magazine department store, there's a yarn department there, and they also have a vintage second-hand department right next to it. And my daughter quite likes shopping in vintage and second-hand. So she had a look around the vintage bit. I had looked around the yarn shop bit. I didn't buy anything because I'd bought a few things the day before. So I didn't buy anything, but we had a lovely look around there. So I didn't buy anything at Heimen Husfliden at Glass Magazine. I had a look around. I could have bought something. I did actually look at the yarn that I am knitting my sweater in, which I'll show you in a minute, because I'm thinking about knitting it in another colour, but I'm not 100% sure whether I want to buy the yarn now. I can order it in the UK. There is somewhere in the UK, I can't remember where it is now, but there is somewhere in the UK selling the same yarn. And when I bought the yarn for the sweater I'm knitting at the moment, it wasn't that much. It was about the same price as if I'd ordered it in the UK. So if it was cheaper here with the current exchange rate, I would buy it here, but because it's not, and I don't want to knit it straight away. I was thinking about doing like a slip over sleeveless thing, holding 2 strands double, but I'm thinking I could just get it in the UK. So I don't think I'm going to buy it. We are going to a yarn shop hopefully later this week, where their stock is. So I might get it then. I haven't decided yet. A couple of other places we've been to while we've been here is a village called Hvitsten. It's on the edge of the Oslo fjord. It's where I lived in the 70s. Yeah, 70s. I want to say 80s, but no, we moved by the end of the 70s, I think. Early 80s, maybe. No, I think 70s. I think I was about 9 when we moved. So yeah, definitely still 70s. And we lived in a beautiful old house overlooking the Oslo fjord with our own private beach. Sadly, the house was owned by the company my dad worked for, and it was massive, and it's been refurbished or completely rebuilt since, and it's absolutely stunning, but it wasn't really something I think that my parents could take on at the time with young kids and everything. But it is a beautiful village, and if you happen to be in this area, it's worth driving down there for a walk, especially when it's not too snowy, because when it's snowy the roads can be a bit dodgy because it is very hilly going from the motorway down there and back up again. Another day we went for a walk around Drøbak, which is a town about halfway between here and Oslo-ish. It's on the Oslo fjord. It's a beautiful little town. If you're in Oslo on holiday, you can probably get a bus out there. There's no train to Drøbak. It is really pretty. We went there, kind of went there twice. We went once with my mum. We just had a wander around. They have a Christmas shop there, Julehuset. Is it called Julehuset? I think it is. It's open all year round, and it is really worth going into. We all bought something there. Emily bought 1 or 2 little Christmas decorations, and we all bought some like advent candles. The ones that are just like one long candle that has the days numbered on it. So my mum got some of those. I got 1. I got 2. Emily got 1. So we all got some of those, and mine is all wrapped up for travelling back to the UK, so I'm not going to get it out. I've just got to get it in my backpack and home without breaking it, which I'm a little bit worried about, but we'll see how that goes. And we had a wander around and had some lunch, and it was quite a nice morning out just with my mum and my daughter. So let's talk about the other knitting project I've been working on since I got here. So this parcel was waiting for me when I arrived, and I ordered 8 of these. Just looking to see what else is in this bag. Oh, a couple of little sweets. And a card. So this is the Doma. Let's just put that back in again. So this is the Doma, what's it called? Alpaca silk. And it's the same sweater I knitted a year ago, but I'm knitting it on smaller needles. So it's 65% baby alpaca, 25% silk, 10% extra fine merino, 200 meters per 25 grams. So it's 800 meters per 100 grams. So like a standard lace weight yarn. It's a little bit fluffy without being like as fluffy as like mohair is, because I don't like that. And if you watched the last podcast episode, I do talk about this. The pink sweater I knitted a year ago, I wore it a lot last winter. It is a little bit big on me now because I've lost a little bit of weight, and the sleeves especially, I made them quite baggy, which I like, but makes it difficult if you want to wear it under a coat or something. And I re-knitted it in a lavender pale lilac-y colour, which the fit on that I like much better because it's not as long and the sleeves are narrower. So I do prefer the fit on that, and I've been wearing that a lot this autumn. But the pink one I knitted last year, I've not worn at all this autumn because for one thing, it just looks too big on me. And also, I wore it a lot last winter and it wore out quite quickly. So I talked about a few months ago where I had to replace half the sleeve because it kind of worn, all the pink fluff had worn off. But also the back of the sweater is looking quite worn because I wore it a lot last winter, autumn and winter. And I sit a lot at home, working at my desk or knitting. So I guess my back rubs against stuff a lot of the time, and it was a bit worn out. And I knitted that sweater on 3.5mm needles. It's quite a loose gauge for this yarn. So I tried swatching in holding 2 strands double, but then I worked out how much yarn I'd need and how much that would cost me, and I thought, no, I'm not doing that. So then I decided I would knit it on smaller needles. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm using 3mm needles. I cast on, we got here last Monday at, I want to say like 5 in the evening. We had dinner and then I cast on. So this is knitted top down. So I did the back first to the underarms, and then I picked up stitches at the shoulders and did the front. I need to knit an edging around the V-neck. And then on, what's the day, Tuesday, on Sunday evening, I got to the underarm. I knitted the number of centimeters I thought I wanted based on my lilac sweater, and I tried it on and it felt a bit short. So I knitted a couple more centimeters. Now looking at it, I kind of feel like it's looking a bit too long. But that's fine, we'll deal with that. And and I've knitted, so the back to the underarm took nearly 1 ball, the front to the underarm took nearly 1 ball, slightly less than the back, and then I've knitted up 1 ball. So on Sunday evening and yesterday I knitted 1 25-gram ball, and I measured this yesterday before I went to bed, and I think I need to knit another 26 centimeters. I would like to try and finish this by Thursday evening, by the end of Thursday. So I'm going home on Monday, and I really want to finish this while I'm here. So when I knitted the original version, I did not finish it in the time I was here. I probably didn't buy the yarn right at the start of my holiday out. I can't remember. Or maybe I did. I can't remember. Anyway, it took me probably like a month to finish it, I want to say. I would really like to finish this while I'm here, because I got other stuff I need to knit and want to knit when I go home. So if I could finish this by Sunday, that would be great. One thing that means I could wear it on the way home rather than try and pack it into my suitcase, my backpack. So I've knitted 1 ball below the armhole. So I've done 40 centimeters from the shoulder in total, and I want it to be 66 centimeters, I think. So yesterday I knitted over 4 hours in total. I am doing how much I knit in a week this week. I'm filming it, so they'll be out probably in a couple of weeks after I get home, maybe. So I'm tracking how much I'm knitting every day, and yesterday I knitted 4 hours and 20 minutes, which is quite a lot. I don't knit. Normally I would say I knit that much at home, but I've tracked how much I knit twice before, and I know I don't knit that much when I'm home. So I was trying to be disciplined yesterday and knit and not look on social media too much. So yeah, I'm just knitting around now. It's going quite quickly. I did time myself last night and this morning on how long it would take me to knit a round. I have 320 stitches per round, 20 more than I had for the original version, because obviously it's smaller needles, and I'm making it slightly smaller. So 320 stitches, 20 more stitches than I had, and I timed myself last night and this morning, and it takes me about 4.5 minutes to knit a round, and that worked out at roughly 71 stitches per minute. So as it's just stocking stitch, it's fairly quick. I was a little bit worried about the size, whether I made it too small, so I tried it on yesterday and I think it's okay. I might put it back on the barb cord later today and try it on again. But I was measuring it up against this top, which I haven't worn as much as I thought I would, but I did wear it on the way here, and I've worn it a couple of times. I wore it yesterday actually, in the car and in the shopping centre I went to with Emily, because did I say that? I drove Emily to the airport yesterday. It's about an hour's drive each way, so I wore this in the car because I don't like wearing my coat in the car. So if I hold it up so it matches there, and then hold it across, you can see it is a little bit, so maybe like 3 centimeters, an inch smaller. So I am hoping that this pink sweater will fit and won't be too small. I might put it back on the barber cord after I've been for my walk, before I do any more knitting, and just make sure that it will still fit. I did put it on the barber cord, as I said yesterday, Sunday morning, Sunday night, I can't remember, while Emily was still here anyway, and tried it on, so I might do that again. But I'd really like to finish this by end of Thursday. If I do that, I think I can finish it, because I think I can do the sleeves in 2 days. So last week was really busy with Emily here, and now she's gone home. This week is a lot less busy. Today my parents had some appointments this morning, and I've been down to the local shopping centre with my mum to run some errands, and I'm going to go for a walk after this, and then just knit for the rest of the day. I've got to do my nails because they're a mess, so that will take about an hour and a half in total before they're dry enough to knit. And I want to do my exercises tonight because I'm feeling really stiff and sore, because I haven't done my exercises for a couple of days, so I need to do that. And then tomorrow I think we're just going to have a fairly quiet day. Might go out during the day if the weather's nice, or at least go out for a walk. And then I don't think we're going out for very long tomorrow. And then Thursday there's a lot of stuff happening with appointments and stuff. So, but I'm going to take my knitting with me. My mum's got an appointment, and where she has to try on various things. So I'm going to take my knitting with me so I can knit while she's doing that. and then I got to take my dad to the doctor's. And last time I went to the doctor's with him, he was running really late, so I'm going to take my knitting with me so I can knit in the waiting room. Because I think last time I went with them, he was running like, I want to say like 45 minutes late. So I'm going to take my knitting with me so I can knit while I wait. If he's running that late again. It's like after lunch, so I think he probably will be. So yeah, and then Friday I think we're going to go shopping, so there'll be less knitting time on Friday because we'll be out for a big chunk of the day. So got a lot of knitting done. I have also been to the local yarn shop in the town where my parents live. It's a really lovely yarn shop. I would say the lady who owns it is not the friendliest, but she wasn't there this time, and she wasn't there last time I was here either. Last time I was here, I bought some sock yarn in there, which I'm knitting up. I don't think I've finished them. I think there's still all my needles at home. Can't remember. Because I finished my knitting I brought with me on the last day I was here. So I had to buy some yarn to knit on the way home. And we popped in there the other day because I am teaching my mum to knit brioche. So she's doing my course headband, which is free as part of my Successful Brioche online course. It's also free if you do any of my brioche basic workshops. We normally work on that head warmer pattern. She's knitting that at the moment. She's doing really well. I'm very impressed. She wants to finish it while I'm here so that I can help her if she gets stuck on anything. And then I'm hoping I might get her started on the matching cowl before I leave. But we popped into the local yarn shop for her to buy some yarn, and I had a look around, but I didn't buy anything, mainly because there wasn't anything I desperately fancied. I mean, I probably could have found a ball of sock yarn I liked, but I didn't feel the need to buy anything. I don't see the point in buying anything unless I really desperately want it, because I don't have a lot of space on the way home. So, and I already bought a couple of things, so I don't really want to buy any more than I absolutely desperately want to, because I've got to bring it home with me. The other day this week, Emily and I went to a place called Oscarsborg. It's an island. The island is not actually called Oscarsborg. I can't remember what the island is called. Karholmen maybe, I'm not sure. But there is a fortress on there called Oscarsborg, and the island is just off the town of Drøbak, which I was talking about earlier. And if you are in the Oslo area, it's worth going there and getting the ferry out to Oscarsborg. The ferry is, I want to say less than £10. I can't remember how much we paid now, but I think it's less than £10 with the current exchange rate. And once you're on the island, everything's free, unless you buy food and drink, obviously. But there's a fortress there, and there's a museum there, and the museum takes you through the whole history of that fortress. It does have like an audio guide that you can access on your phone, so if you've got earbuds or anything, it's worth bringing those. Last time I went with Simon, I brought my earbuds, but he didn't, so we just used one each of mine. And you can scan a QR code and bring up the guide on your phone, and it has, like, at each exhibit it has a number that you type in, then you can hear the explanation in English, Norwegian, and I think it's German. We didn't listen to all of it because a lot of it is very boring, unless you're specifically interested in military history, which I'm not. So what that fortress is famous for is shooting down and sinking the first Nazi warship that tried to take Oslo in April 1940. 9th of April, I think. Can't remember. But German warship Blücher sailed up the Oslo Fjord with some other ships, and it got shot at, I think, in the outer Oslo Fjord, but managed to keep going, and they managed to shoot it and sink it there. And it meant that the other ships that was following it turned around and sailed out of the Oslo Fjord again, and it gave the Norwegian government and the royal family enough time to get out of Oslo, and also gave the central bank enough time to get the gold reserves out of Oslo. And the royal family and the government eventually went to the UK and spent the war in the UK fighting for Norway's freedom. Norway was taken the next day, I think it was, so it didn't give Norway a very big respite, but it gave enough time for the royal family and the government and gold reserves to get out of Oslo and get to safety. So I guess that was just gave Norway a little bit of a warning, but it's quite interesting. It's a beautiful island, so even if you're not interested in that bit, it's quite nice to walk around. There's 2 small islands, they're joined by a wooden bridge. You can walk around. In the summer, there are 2 coffee shops there that are open. They were closed this time. There is a hotel on the island. I don't know how expensive, and I'm assuming they do a restaurant or bar or something there. I don't know. It was definitely open in the summer, and they were there in September because we walked past it. In fact, I went in and used their toilet. We didn't go past it this time, so I assume it was open. I don't know how expensive that is. But last 2 times I've been there with Simon in September and Vanessa 2 years ago. Also in September, we went to one of the coffee shops down by the marina and had something to eat and drink. But that was closed this time. So we spent about 2 hours there, and then we got the boat back. It was drizzly and it was grey and it was a bit chilly. But we walked around quite a bit, and it is quite pretty and scenic, so I do highly recommend it if you can get there. You might be able to get a boat from Oslo as well, at least in the summer, but I'm not sure. The neck accessory I decided to bring with me was my cowl. I may release this. I think I'm going to release this next week. I was going to release a pattern this week, but I haven't gotten around to it. So I think I'm probably going to release this next week, because it's just easier to do it at home. So do look out for that. I have 15% off all my online courses until the 25th of November. So 15% off all my online courses until 25th of November. The code is NOV24. I'll put it on the screen. So that's all my online courses, which includes continental knitting, stranded colourwork and steeking, successful brush knitting, successful lace knitting, successful socks, and finishing techniques. You get indefinite access to the course. You can work through the material in your own time and at your own pace, and I'm there to answer any questions and help you along the way. So if you want to dip in and out, you can. If you want to watch it all and then go back and watch it all in a few months' time or wherever, it's all up to you. You keep access to it indefinitely. So I will link the page below where you can find all my online courses, but it's on my website, YarnAddict.co.uk. Just click on workshops and online courses, I think it says at the top. So don't forget to take advantage of that. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this little walk through Norway. It is now clouding over outside and the sun's gone away. Just in time for me to go out for a walk. Never mind. Still going to go out for a walk, so at least it is dry, and I've not been for a walk for a couple of days, so I will go out for a walk. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Next week I'll be back home, but I might have a bit more from Norway to show you. Maybe another yarn purchase. I don't know. Definitely another yarn shop visit. Yeah, tune in next week. Tuesday video this week was about knitting surprise gifts for people. Is it worth it? I can't remember the exact title. Basically, every year I see people who talk about knitting for friends and family, and the fact that their friends and family don't appear to appreciate it, and how disappointing this is. So I just filmed the video. I actually think I filmed it in August, and then I haven't gotten around to releasing it, where I talk about my views on these issues. So if you fancy watching that, do go watch that. It was out on Tuesday this week. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Subscribing, liking and commenting really helps me get my videos seen by lots of other people. We had lots of new subscribers in October, so I really appreciate it. So if you're new here, thank you very much. If you've been here for a long time, thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for your support. Do go and check out my online courses and get the discount. And my online shop will reopen again this weekend. So Friday or Saturday, when I remember to do it, I guess. I'll be back home on Monday, so I will ship out any orders on Tuesday. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.